Welcome guys, Dogecoin to the moon. We're going to talk about Dogecoin and how it can make you a millionaire. What's up YouTube community? My name is Syed and welcome to ClayDesk Invest Desk, which is part of ClayDesk, your number one channel for investing in cryptocurrency with daily updates, news, forecasts. And we're going to take a deep dive into how Dogecoin will make you a millionaire. Okay, just like Bitcoin made a lot of people millionaires, we're going to talk about how Dogecoin is going to do the same for all of us, right? Especially you who are into Dogecoin right now, which is at a very, very low price for Dogecoin. That it has been steady for the last week or so at 0.05, maybe 0.055. That was about a stable range. So there are about three things I want to talk about. All right, so grab a cup of coffee, whatever it is. I got my water here, and we'll be talking about how Dogecoin is going to make you a millionaire, right? That's one, because we're going to talk in depth about the processes, the factor, and of course some historical analysis as well. And second, as I promised earlier in yesterday's stream, we're going to take a look at recap for the entire week, right? And talk about the prices for Dogecoin as they happen for the entire week, and we'll do some average cost out and just see how things work. And of course I'll also do an hypothetical example of how, if you were to invest in Bitcoin versus Dogecoin, how it's gonna make you a lot of money, right? So again, we'll take a look at that and we'll run some numbers together. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and if you're already a subscriber, perfect. I welcome you once again, and I thank you for the support. So hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit a like, and put a comment in there. So we're going to be talking about how things move in terms of Dogecoin following suit of Bitcoin, and how it's going to make you. I'm going to run some numbers, okay? So I'm going to put up an Excel spreadsheet as well. So, and the third thing, by the way, if we had some time, we're going to talk about the market cap, okay, and how the demand supply kind of works with market cap. So we'll talk about that briefly at the end, just so to give you an idea of how to understand the market caps. Okay, all right, so first agenda is, of course, we're going to take a look at some of the areas where how Dogecoin and Bitcoin kind of works. I did a stream yesterday, by the way. Is Dogecoin the next Bitcoin? So if you want to go check that out, yeah, go ahead. You want to be able to take a look. So let's see if I can open up my chat here quickly before I start. All right, so let's quickly take a look at the chart itself and see where we are with Dogecoin. So currently Dogecoin is at, let's see, 0.050, right? So it's kind of holding steady over the weekend. So of course Monday is gonna start again, and I got my moving averages. I did a stream about moving averages, so if you want to go check that out, go ahead. I did that about a couple of days ago. The 200 or 25 or 7-day, depending on how you want to set this up. But the Dogecoin price is basically right now, let me zoom in, is once again 0.05. So just kind of holding steady over the weekend, right? So it's going to start again, which is good. It had a big spike up and went all the way up to 0.51, right? And notice how these spikes are, they look like incredibly high, right? When you look at the chart itself, it's like, wow, that really went up. But it's really just the fraction of the price that it goes up. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about when we end up with our Excel spreadsheet, what these spikes, and how they matter, right? But overall, if you were to take a look at a little bit of average for the last week, right, you'll notice that it's kind of holding steady, right, at 0.05, and the range is from 0.05 to 0.055, right? Not a whole lot, but in terms of percentage, and we'll again, I don't want to jump the gun here, but we'll talk about that too. But overall, how Dogecoin has been performing for the past week, we'll take a look at that and see how when we run the numbers. So once again, welcome back. So if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I appreciate your support. You guys have been awesome. This channel has been growing like crazy, and I truly I'm dedicated to provide you the content, the latest research strategies. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, right? And you guys know that already. But my research and strategies and how things work kind of help move things forward. Okay, so if you miss the Bitcoin times where you should have bought Bitcoin, now is the time to do it again, all over again, yet even better. And I talked about that yesterday when I mentioned the title of yesterday's stream was whether Dogecoin is better than Bitcoin, right, in the long run. And that's really what we're after. We're talking about how Dogecoin is going to the long run, because there were several factors, and I talked about that yesterday. So if you want to go check that stream out, perfect, do so. I'd appreciate that. And of course, here, of course, the rest in Ethereum, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrency. So yeah, go check out the other things. I appreciate that. All right, so let's dive into how Dogecoin is going to actually help, and then help you become a millionaire, okay, over time, just like Bitcoin made a lot of millionaires. All right, now when Bitcoin was starting off, we weren't really interested in Bitcoin, right? We were just like, people were like, oh no, nothing's gonna happen, it's not gonna grow, it's not gonna go up. And look at Bitcoin. So right now the price of Bitcoin is about 47,000, right? It went all the way up to 58,000, by the way. Okay, and we'll talk about that too. Just like Dogecoin, the highest peak it touched was 0.08. Okay, this was I think last week, a week and a half ago, but averaging out, it's right now at 0.050, right? All right, so let me bring up the Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to talk about that next, but before I do, make sure to hit the subscribe button, guys. And of course, let me see some comments coming in so I know exactly where we're at, and then we'll talk about that. So let me go ahead and bring up the Excel that I've created so that we can talk about it. All right. Let me mute my own self here, because I'm watching the stream myself. It's pretty cool. All right, so we are going to go to the Excel sheet. Let me pull that up quick. There we go. Perfect. All right. So let's see. Do we have comments coming in? Do we have? Yeah. All right. So let's edit. Just give me a second, guys. I'm just setting this up before I talk about this. All right. And I'm going to make it public so everyone can see the stream, by the way. All right. Let's try it one more time. Done. And then save. There we go. So we're live. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate it. So we're going to talk about how Dogecoin will make you a millionaire, and that's exactly what we'll be talking about. And we just kind of highlighted the differences between Bitcoin and Dogecoin. I talked about that in the yesterday stream. So if you want to go check that out, please, you can do that. But right now we're going to take a look at this Excel sheet, and then we'll see the last week's performance, right? That was one of the things that I promised, and then we'll talk about that. So what I've done is I've just pasted some values of Dogecoin performance from February 22nd till February 26th. Okay, and that's really important because if you notice the prices, the opening price, I have the high price and the low price, and of course close, and then the adjusted close, and of course the total volume. It's straightforward. You guys can probably filter it out and take a look at that too. But the reason why I did this is because so we could kind of see how the performance has been for the last week, which has been fairly steady. So if I look at the average high price, right? For example, if I were to let's say do the quick average here. So what's going to happen is it's going to give me an average price of about 0.0569. All right, and the average low for Dogecoin for the week ending Feb 26 was about 0.04686, right? So this was the low price and the high price, okay? And then of course, so this gives you an idea of, you know, what the average price was. And the reason why we talk about average, I'm going to just write it down here so you know exactly what these numbers mean. So the average high price for Doge was 0.0569, and then the average low for the last week, right, you know, for the previous week was 0.04686. And a minor difference, right? I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the example here, so kind of ignore the bottom ones right now, but I'm just kind of focusing on the top part of the Excel spreadsheet, because this really is helpful, okay, to know as you're working with or running your numbers for the last week, right? So again, this is just a simple example, just one last week, just to get you guys started thinking. And then since our goal is to understand how Dogecoin will make you a millionaire, right? So this is the starting point where you can get in, kind of take a look at some of these things, you know, pen them down into an Excel spreadsheet or any other software that you want, you use, that's fine. But now that we have the two averages, right? So for example, the high was 0.0569 and the low was 0.468. Now, when you buy Dogecoin, for example, we all talk about buying at the dip, right? So when the prices are low, it's a good time to buy, and that's fairly, you know, conventional. And then of course you sell high if you're pumping and dumping, right? So you buy low, you sell high, and then you buy low, you sell high, and so forth. But if you're in the long run, if you hold a long position, right? That's what they say in the stock market terms. The long position is when you buy something and then you hold it, right? So that means you're not going to sell it even if the price goes up a little bit, okay? And that's what we're happening with Dogecoin, right? So we've been talking about different strategies, the entire last week. We talked extensively, and of course one of them was holding Dogecoin. That seemed to be a viable strategy, and again, that's just in my humble opinion, so don't hold me to it. I'm not a financial advisor, guys, but I do have a finance degree, and of course I'm a PhD in management as well. So we'll talk about this. So this kind of gives you an idea. So once I do an average for the week, now it tells me that Doge was at 0.0569, right? That's the average high price, and then the average low price is 0.046. So I know last week Dogecoin went down to, I think the lowest point was 0.041, which is pretty cool. So if it's at 0.041, which means that was the lowest dip, right? And that was the time I think I bought it at 0.42, a whole bunch of it. And of course other people also bought the same, and that's really the key, right? So the last week, this is the average, and we're going to keep track of it. So I'm going to build this Excel sheet as we move forward for the next week, and then moving on until we become millionaires, right? Doge to the moon, and that's the idea. So I'm going to continue to do this. This will give us, and I'll share this, by the way, with you. So let me know, put some comments in if you would like access to this Google spreadsheet. I'll be happy to share with my subscribers, and we'll grow together. So I'm going to create another sheet, and then we'll just navigate, and we'll extend each week. So I'm going to keep opening up these tabs, and of course maybe the next 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, or 1 year, who knows, and we'll evaluate this, right? So this is history, by the way, right? So I remember when I was in the Navy, they used to say, well, you're making history, right? Because we just bought a new ship, and that was it. So the idea is that we are in this together, and the goal is Dogecoin, right? That's probably coming up pretty fast. Companies are adopting. It's been mined in China. Chinese companies are jumping into mining Dogecoin. So a lot is happening, right? And I've talked about this all week. If you want to go check those streams out, perfect. So by the way, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. Get those comments coming in, and also a like would be highly appreciated. And thank you so much for your support if you're joining in. Let me see who else is on. All right, so I have about 5, 6, 10 people here. Perfect. Let's see. Why am I not getting comments, by the way? Let me pull that up, guys. Just give me a second. All right. Let me put a comment here. So if you're getting this comment, put something in the comments so I know exactly that you guys are here. So we're talking about how Dogecoin is going to make you a millionaire, and we are evaluating last week's performance. Okay, perfect. All right, so we talked about the price, right? So we also talked about the average price, how the price, the average high price was at 0.05 for Dogecoin last week, and then low was 0.04686. Okay, so now that you know the average prices, right, what's gonna happen next week, right? Because right now where Dogecoin is at 0.05, let's take a look quickly. It's at 0.0501, right? So that's right in between the high and the lows, right? So it's about the same average, pretty much. So let's see what happens next week, and then we'll document this, right? So I'm going to continue to document this spreadsheet moving forward next week and so on, so that we can also do our own analysis. And of course, I'm not going to I have another spreadsheet for my own self, which is fairly extensive and long and of course complicated, so I didn't want to complicate things at this point in time, just starting off for you guys, just to keep track of how things are progressing forward. So but you do want to of course keep track of a lot of information. For example, what price did you buy it at, maybe what time, and again, depends on how in depth you like to create these spreadsheets. Typically they are pretty complicated, so if you were to take some of these stock Excel sheets online, it's just so much information. They bombard you with all this information. It's very difficult to figure it out, but we're going to keep things simple. All right, I also want to talk about the example now that we know the average prices here, right? So let's take a look at the example that I have. So for example, and this is one of the reasons, right? One of the important reasons how Dogecoin is going to make you a millionaire, right? Eventually, if the prices rise. And again, that's all speculative, so don't hold me to it, right? If you do not become one, guys. All right. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, right? This is an example. We have an investment of $25,000. Okay. Again, you can make it up to whatever it is that you want, whether it's $100, whether it's $25, whether it's $50,000, whatever it is. But that's an example that I like to illustrate. And the reason for this example is that so you know exactly the percentage gain, right? Or the profit that you can actually make on Dogecoin versus Bitcoin. All right. So if you were to invest $25,000 today at the price, which is the current price. Okay. So let's check the price again. It's about the same. It's about 0.050. Okay. So if this is the price that you buy and you invest 25,000, once again, this is just an example, right? Whereas Bitcoin is at 47,000. Once again, currently it's trading at 47,116, right? So I just rounded it up as an example, or rather 47,000. Yep. All right. Let's say this is where you bought it at, right? For example, this is the current price, and then the price kind of rises up just a little bit. For Dogecoin, I know that it went all the way up to 0.08, okay, but it's just a hypothetical number, 0.0791. I just made it up, right? Let's say it increases from 0.051 to 0.0791. The percentage gain is almost 55%. Okay, just the price going from 0.05 to 0.07, let's say, or 0.08, the gain is 55%. Whereas Bitcoin, which is currently trading at today, February 26th, it's at 47,000 approximately. If this goes back up to 57,000, which it was last week, right, you're only going to gain 20% or 21%. All right. So you see the huge difference between the two profits. What do you want to invest in, right? So that's the question. Where do you want to invest? Okay, now for Bitcoin, I'm going to talk about market cap, which is part of the last talk that we're going to have, and it's important too, because Bitcoin has a cap, and that's what makes the demand and supply and makes the price go up pretty rapidly, whereas Dogecoin is a bit different. So we'll get into that. But right now, in this example, it's easy to see the percentage gain in Dogecoin with the price rise. If I were to change the price, so let's say, well, geez, this is too much. It may not go back to 0.07 next week, but for example, this is going to go to 0.06, okay, or 0.058. And for the last week, by the way, it was about 0.057. It kind of spiked up a little bit, right? So let's say it go 5, 8, 2, or 3. I'm just making this up, right? So the percentage, my bad, I had to put a 0 in here. Well, I wonder if it goes to 0.5 or 50 cents, that's gonna kill you, right? That's gonna be 1,000% return. You're gonna be already a millionaire, right? But I'm gonna put 0.05, guys. All right, so that's gonna be a 14% gain. So just with the price going from 0.051 to 0.058, you will earn 14%. Okay. Similarly, if I just change the price a little bit more, let's say even lower is 0.573, that's 12% return. Okay. And what that means in terms of dollars, you're going to earn $3,000 profit on the $25,000 investment. That's pretty cool, isn't it, right? Well, now this is short term. This is like a day trade thingy, right? Where price is at 0.051, you buy it, and then you sell it at 0.057. Well, geez, you pocket $3,000 and you're done with the day or done with a week, right? Whatever it is that you want to do, it's just your own strategy, okay? Again, pumping and dumping. This is kind of like falls into that scenario, all right? So you're gonna earn $3,000. Same thing with Bitcoin. So let's say Bitcoin is at 47,000 and it goes back up to the highest peak, which was 57, 58,000 a few days ago or before market corrected itself. You're gonna gain only 20%. It's about $5,000, right? And that's again if the price goes way back up. If it doesn't touches the peak again, let's say it only rises to 50,000, you're only going to gain 6%. So clearly, of course, you can see that there's no doubt, right? You can see that the Dogecoin, investing in Dogecoin and holding, or well, just day trading right now, that's what I'm kind of hypothetically talking as an example, where you buy low, you sell a bit high. And again, this high is not as much as you'd have to wait for Bitcoin to raise, right? To increase in price. Okay. Now, of course, I'm going to come back to market cap a little later on. Bitcoin definitely could go to 80,000, 90,000, depending on the demand and the scarcity, right? But and Dogecoin, so that's really the trade-off. So we're going to talk about that a little later. But right now, the numbers kind of show that there is a better chance, right? The better strategy, of course, is working or being in Dogecoin. Okay. Now, the reason why I say this, if I were to simply navigate to the coin market cap site, you'll notice that Bitcoin being the number one, right, on the list. Then we have Ethereum, we have Cardano. By the way, this is another one to watch for. I'm gonna talk about this. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow or somewhere Monday. Maybe we'll add this to our portfolio as we move forward. Okay, and then of course, if I scroll down, you'll notice Dogecoin is at number 14. Okay, so and it's only at 0.050. Well, this is awesome. This is, I mean, look at the rank, right? Look at where Dogecoin is standing right now. Okay. All right. So, all right. Finally, comments coming in. Dogecoin to the moon. Paul says Doge to the moon. Yes. Thank you so much. That's what we're hoping, and that's where we're going. So keep those comments coming in, guys, by the way, and make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. We are talking about how Dogecoin will make you a millionaire, okay? And we're doing a comparative analysis of Bitcoin and Dogecoin, right? And I did a stream yesterday about in depth about is Doge better than Bitcoin, right? And of course you can watch that too. But right now we are also taking a look at the last week's recap of Dogecoin's price, right? An average price. That kind of gives you an idea of how, what the performance was for Dogecoin. All right, so let's bring up my Excel sheet here again. By the way, I want to see who's online, and I have it here somewhere. There we go. If it kind of shows up here, that'd be great. All right, I'm not sure if it's showing up or not. Can you see? All right, no worries. If it does, that's fine. All right, I guess not. All right, let's go back to our Excel document here. There we go. So based on where Dogecoin ranks, right, it's at number 14 in terms of cryptocurrencies list. We're talking about if you were to invest 25,000, what's going to happen, right? Even if the price just slightly goes up. Whereas if the price of Bitcoin slightly goes up, it's almost half less than Dogecoin, okay, in terms of your percentage return. So here's the thing, right? So let's say you're not interested in 25,000, so I want to just do 5,000, okay? All right, fair enough. We can do 5,000, we can do less, or whatever it is. So again, I'm going to share this spreadsheet. So if you want this spreadsheet, let me know. Put it in the comment. I'm going to put a link in the description so you guys can access it. If not, just shoot me an email or let me know whether you want to access. We are going to keep building this analysis as we move. So next week we'll run another analysis and we'll just compare where we were last week, and moving forward we'll also take a look at how we progress and keep track. And this is important because this gives you an idea when to buy, when to sell. Just kind of devise your own strategy, okay? But if you were to invest 5,000 and the price of Doge goes 0.051 to 0.0573, just not too much, right? That's about 12%. All right. Whereas you're going to gain about $600, and then on Bitcoin you're going to make $300. Okay. So again, half. So almost 50% more when you're working with Dogecoin prices. And again, if the price goes up to where it was, or it kind of just goes up to where it was last time when I hit the peak, which was 0.08, something like that, right? 0.079. Let's be conservative. That's about 55% return. Now this is just, by the way, I'm just making this is an example, hypothetical example for the last week or just a day maybe, right? So if you are pumping and dumping, you potentially can earn half the money, right? So on 5,000 you can earn 2,745 in one day. But again, that's not the goal, that's not the idea. You want to be able to hold, because if the price goes to 10 cents, remember we talked about 10 cents and I did a stream, there were words going on about 10 cents, about $1, about $7, about I think $15 too. So if this goes to even 10 cents, so I'm going to put this number, so hold your horses guys, see what's going to happen if you invest $5,000 right now. The current price is a 0.051 and the price of Dogecoin goes up to 0.1 or 10 cents. So that's about 100% return. Okay, kind of makes sense, right? 0.05 to 0.1, 100%. So let's go back to our example of $25,000. You can double your money, okay? And that's really what it is. So depending on how many shares you're holding, what strategies you're using to buy. Of course, we buy low, we buy at the dips, and we keep holding it. That's the strategy we've been using for the last week or two. And moving forward, that's exactly what I'm doing myself. Again, don't hold me to it, please. do your own due diligence research, and then devise your own strategy. Okay, I know it's very lucrative sometimes to think, well, geez, the price is at 10, I'm going to sell it double the money, but you can do that. It's, again, your decision. So be watchful. So the idea is this, and if Dogecoin goes to $1, right? We talked about those two last week. Geez, that's pretty close. Okay, so that's almost $500,000. So you're almost like half a millionaire, right? As they say, you're almost half a millionaire. Okay, so look at this. This is super exciting. This is great because now you're getting to see, right, what's going on. That's why we're saying Doge to the moon, right? Because this is going to take you, and this is not a whole lot, by the way, from 0.05 to $1. Yeah, maybe a jump, and may take 6 months, may take 4 months, may take a year, may take longer than a year. I don't know. Okay, we don't know, but we do know that if Dogecoin follows Bitcoin's path, right, the sky's the limit. And that's exactly what Dogecoin is, building its foundation. It's, being accepted all across the globe. The exchanges are going online, and the entire last week was fascinating. It was a lot of new development with Dogecoin. Chinese companies, I believe it was eBank International, they're into now going to be mining Dogecoin. They're already mining Bitcoin. They've announced that they will be mining Dogecoin as well, and also the banking system trying to regulate or accept digital currency moving forward. The Coinbase, I believe, IPO, that was also last week's news that we covered. They're going public in March, right, coming up. If that exchange goes public, that means it's going to come under the regulatory framework, which is going to protect us as investors or retailers, right? Okay, so here's the thing, right? So if Dogecoin goes to $1 and you have $25,000 invested, you're going to be half a millionaire. All right, half a millionaire. All right, whether it's 6 months or 1 year. Okay, now if I were to ask you what actually, and you can put your comments. Let me see if I can put a question here, right? All right, before I ask the question, idiot to the moon, XD says, well, yeah. Again, I'm going to cover this too. That one's a good one too. And then John says about $20K of Bitcoin and $20K of Dogecoin. Wow, that's cool. And Bitcoin doesn't come close to the profit I made in Dogecoin. Well, exactly. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking at. Dogecoin is going to give you a lot more, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. That's what I'm kind of demonstrating too with the Excel sheet. Is that it's not gonna, the profit that Dogecoin is going to give you, even if the price was to go to 0.05, 8, let's say, or not 8, but 0.06, for example, right, or 6.1. You'll notice the return is still $5,000 on a $25,000 investment. So that's pretty awesome, right? In one way. So if you're a day trader, for example, or you're pumping and dumping, you could do that. But once you sell, right, and make this profit, you have to wait till the price, for the price to come down, and then of course buy again. So again, depends on your own strategy. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, and whatever strategy you're using for investing. That's perfectly fine. But for myself personally, I'm just holding it off, just holding and just actually accumulating, right? Accumulating as many shares, as many Dogecoin as I like. So, and the same thing if I had invested $50,000 in Dogecoin, right? And the price goes to, let's say, 0.1 or 10 cents, that's going to double, okay? And if it goes to $1, you're going to the moon, guys, okay? That's almost $1 million, close to $1 million, right? A little shy, 70,000, right? So $930,000 you're gonna have if Dogecoin hits $1, all right, on a 50,000 investment. Now, here's the thing. of course, the question is, lots of questions. The basic question is when Dogecoin is going to hit $1. Okay, so let me go ahead and ask this. When do you think Dogecoin will hit $1? Let me ask this, all right? So make sure you guys comment. So if you're new, welcome. Hit the subscribe button and the like button and bell notification. That's important because we'll be covering this all week long. Next week, I'm going to keep a track of this simple Excel spreadsheet as we move forward, so that we not only have this week's track and next week. So if you want a copy of this, I'll be happy to share this Excel document. Just let me know. I'll put a link in the description too if you need to, and you can request by clicking on the link if you need access to this Excel document. I'll be happy to share. But yeah, let me know when you think Dogecoin will hit $1. And the reason I ask is because you'll notice that the price goes to $1, hypothetically speaking, right? If and when. So let's say it goes in 1 year, okay? And that's, not a bad deal, is it, right? So let's say assume it goes to $1 after 1 year. So next February, when we're sitting here, when we're doing streams, and I'm talking to you guys, guess what? Are we going to be millionaires if we had 50,000 invested? The answer is yeah, definitely. Okay, but again, it depends on how much you're investing. So not everyone, all of us, maybe are going to be investing 50,000, but you get the idea, right? So you can play with these numbers, and based on your own portfolio, you can then, of course, work with it, right? But if you were to invest 50,000 in, another, stock like Bitcoin, of course, the returns are going to be way low. You're not going to, make as much money on Bitcoin. So even if the price of Bitcoin goes to 57,000, where it was last week, and I think I showed that earlier also, but if you're joining new, you can see it again. You're only going to make 21% return, okay, on a 50,000 investment. Whereas in Dogecoin, that's pretty substantial. Okay, again, this is $1, but if the price is low, still it's 50% higher returns than Bitcoin. Okay, so what's happening? What do you see? You see the picture, right? It's straightforward. So moving forward, the idea is that we need Dogecoin to be accepted more and more in the community. It's going to be the people's currency. A lot of actors, the big wigs are behind Dogecoin. They've been openly and otherwise, I'm sure they're supporting Bitcoin, right? Like Elon Musk. We've covered Elon Musk last week. It was an awesome week for him. He tweeted like 4 or 5 times about Dogecoin, and of course he's in trouble too. The SEC is asking questions now, so I'm sure he's getting to that too. But yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's the idea, that our goal is to buy low and keep our average costs down. Okay, and I covered that in the last week too. But this week's performance, or last week's performance for Dogecoin, you see it right here. The idea, the average price, by the way, for Dogecoin, the average high price was at 0.0569, and then the average low for Dogecoin, just a simple average, right, is 0.04. I'll be happy to share this, by the way, with you, because we'll be keeping track. So this is the first week that I've been covering. The next week I'm going to add another Excel spreadsheet so that you can keep track as well, and we'll continue to do this until we become millionaires, guys, right? That's the idea, right? So Dogecoin will make you a millionaire if you're just devising the right strategy. You're keeping your patience, you're just buying low and just kind of accumulating, right? Just like Bitcoin, guys. It took 5-7 years for Bitcoin, right? Something like that. With Dogecoin, if you remember, in January, just a month and a half ago, do you recall what the price was? It was at 0.003 or 0.004. So that's 1,000% return already at the current price, 0.051. All right, so let's take a look at the chart and see where we are. Let me bring that up quick. There we go. And what do we see? Oh, I see a subscriber count here, so I'm going to get that up. There we go. Perfect. All right, guys, so keep those comments coming in. I appreciate it. And there we go. I'll place it right next to it. And those comments. So hit the subscribe button, like button, and the bell notification, because this is super exciting. We're talking about how Doge is going to make you a millionaire moving forward. So we took a look at the Excel spreadsheet. We ran some numbers, some basic numbers. We took a look at the average price where Dogecoin was, and for the last week. Okay, and then we also talked about how moving forward we are going to keep track of Dogecoin so that it helps us navigate to the next week, and we'll keep track of this Excel spreadsheet. So if you need access to this, I'll be more than happy to share. I'm going to put a link in the description, so make sure you click on the link and request access. I'll be happy to grant, so we can all keep together. And of course you can build I'm going to make it public so you can build this spreadsheet. Okay, we can add more values to it, and again, we can just use it. Okay, this is for our own benefit. All right, so if you're just joining in, welcome once again to Invest Desk. My name is Syed, and we are talking about how Doge is going to make you a millionaire. And we also evaluated the Excel spreadsheet. So right now, Doge price is at, let me zoom in a little bit. So it's at 0.0503, right? That's what it is. And we see a little bit of dip, and it's kind of going back up. So averaging out, it has been kind of fairly steady, right, for the entire last week, to the range from 0.055 to from 0.050 to 0.055. Okay, and that's what it is. So that's where it is right now. All right, so Dogecoin is definitely gonna make you a millionaire, guys, and that's the bottom line. Just gotta hold it, for a year or so. Let the price goes up. Let's see how things move forward. Okay, of course it can go down too, so don't hold me to it, guys. All right, it's just speculation, but it is based on extensive analysis last week that I've been sharing with all my streams. I've been doing it for twice a day, because Dogecoin is absolutely fascinating to me. It is one of those things where I think cryptocurrency moving forward is going to be, of course, it is the future. Okay, that's inevitable. And we also covered the breaking news a couple of days ago, rather. I covered it, where the mayor of Miami wants to implement Bitcoin as a method of payment to its city employees, vendors, customers. Okay, the commissioners kind of voted to halt that for now, because they wanted to give more education to the city employees and the public at large before they actually start to give salary in Bitcoin. Imagine you getting salary in Bitcoin. Okay, and that's exciting. So eventually, yes, long term, once this cryptocurrency actually becomes under a regulatory framework, and the governments all across the world, by the way, they're working at it. Okay, they're not just shying away. They resist it as much as possible, but that's it, no more. We see that with Bitcoin. Okay, we see that with Ethereum, with contracts, and we see that with Dogecoin coming up. Okay, and this is right at the infancy, right at where it needs to be, and that's exactly where you need to be, right? Where I need to be, where all of us need to be, because we're all going to the moon, right? All right, so this is the price. So let's go back to our Excel document. So I appreciate the comments, but before I do, let's take a look at some comments. What's going on? All right, so we have Henry says, when do you think Dogecoin will hit $1? Henry says August. That's cool. Not even December, or maybe he says or December 21, so he gave two dates, right? And that's just hypothetical speculation, right? That's cool. So again, the idea is that it's this year. It's going to hit $1 by the end of this year, and if it does, a lot of us are going to be millionaires. Okay, if it hits $1, guys, if you had invested $50,000 in Dogecoin, you will become a millionaire. All right, let's see. Brandon, thanks for taking the time to explain Dogecoin. Keep it up. Yeah, appreciate your support. This is great. Awesome, guys. And this is because of you guys' support, right? That kind of helps me motivate to do more research, to be on top of things, to get the news, to do some analysis, and kind of share all this information with all of you. So yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, the like, the comments. This is awesome. We're all doing this together, building a community, and then this is in the long run, guys, because once I do this, I'm going to be sharing this every week, right? And every single day I'm streaming, and every single weekend we are recapping the week. So we're growing this, we're a team. So once Dogecoin hits $1, we are going to be millionaires, or a lot of us, or some of us. Well, depends on how much you've invested. Okay. All right. So yeah, thanks again, Brandon. Appreciate that. Appreciate your support. All right, I just bought another 300,000. I have 800,000 Doge now. Way to go. So Sanosuke 1991, awesome. Okay, so keep that momentum going, and that's exactly where we are. Again, depends on, again, it's your own strategy. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is what I do myself. So I like these kind of comments when you buy and you kind of hold. Okay. All right. So Sanosuke also said, I'm at good average cost, so I wasn't worried about it going up a bit, right? So I'm at 0.038 since after I bought, it went to 0.039. So I'm pretty solid, I think. So yeah, 0.038 is a great average cost to buy it at. Okay, that's because it has not come down for the entire week. Dogecoin has not come down at all to less than or hit once. I think it came down to 0.041, and I bought it at that too, by the way. But it didn't come down into the 0.03s anymore. So yeah, that's an excellent average cost, and that's exactly what I've been talking about last week. Is you want to be able to keep those average buying costs as low as possible. So buy at the dips. So even if you buy at let's say 48, and the price goes to 0.045, you want to buy more because now your average cost is going to be lower. Okay, so yeah, that's great, Sanosuke. More power to you. All right, so and he says, my dad has $1 million in Doge. He has his at 0.009. Oh geez, he's probably already a millionaire, right? So that's cool. Let's see what happens. So if I run this number, 0.00923, let me bring the Excel spreadsheet. That'd be exciting to see. That's cool. So let's bring up the Excel. There we go. And I'm going to paste this number in our analysis. So he bought it at 0.00923. Was that it? Let me confirm in the comment. All right, so yeah, 0.00923. That's the price. So, and right now the current price is 0.051. So depending on whatever the investment was. So had you invested 50,000 at 0.00923, and if you sell it today, right now at 0.051, you're gonna gain 450% gain or profits, right? That's almost $250,000 already. Okay, so we're millionaires already. All right, so that's pretty cool. So congratulations, Sanosuke. Your dad is $250,000 richer, right? Again, depending on how much he invested. Okay, so if you invested lower, fine. Still, you're in six figures. Okay, definitely six figures. So yeah, welcome aboard. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it. So hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also like and comment. We're talking about how Dogecoin will make you a millionaire, and that's exactly what we're talking about here in our example. If you buy Dogecoin at a lower price, and of course you hold it, price goes up, definitely based on a hypothetical investment of 50,000, these are the returns. So it's super exciting, okay, and just fascinating. And of course, $1, we're hoping it to go maybe this year, maybe end of this year, maybe August, mid-year, We don't know, but that's what we're looking for it to go to. Now, if that's the case, okay, what if it goes to $5? Okay, and that's also some of the evidence kind of shows that if the price shoots up, right, and with all what's going on, well, maybe it's not going to go up next week to $5, right? But that's a long term. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is $47,000. That's where Bitcoin is. So if we were to, just as for fun, right? Because we're gonna have some fun too, and I'm going to do that right now. I am going to go to my Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to say, all right, the current price of Doge is at 0.051, and this price, and I only invest, all right, $5,000. I don't have a lot of money. For example, you don't have a lot. Just invest 5,000 at the current price of 0.051, which is right now. All right, and let's say 3 years from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, this goes as high as Bitcoin, okay, or even half as Bitcoin. So you're fine. So I'm going to put a number here, guys. So hold your horses, okay? Watch this. Dogecoin price goes up to $27,000. This is just hypothetical speaking, just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 47, so I'm just placing Dogecoin like almost half, somewhere around there, right? All right, I gotta expand the column here, guys. The numbers are just way too much. All right, geez, I don't know. What is that number? What is your profit? Is that $2,647,053,823.53? Am I looking at this right? Let me know. Put that in comments. Let me know if this is true. Okay? Let me know if this works. So if I invest 5,000 and the price goes to 27,000, which is half of what Bitcoin is right now, let's say in 3 years, you're gonna be a billionaire? Heck yes, that's what it says, right? All right, so that's too much, right? So let's bring it down. Let's say the price goes to $500. How much is that? You're still a millionaire, right? Even if at 100, right? And again, I'm just playing now, right? I'm just having fun. We all are. So you profit $9 million. Okay? So if the price of Dogecoin goes to 100. And by the way, this is a people's currency. Okay? So if this Dogecoin is going to be accepted all across the globe in small transactions, maybe you're tipping people, maybe you're buying things, maybe you're buying your shoes, buying clothes, eating out, ordering food, etc., right? Traveling. If everyone is doing this, the price definitely will go up, right? And if it just goes up to 100, all right, let's even bring it more down. We wanna hit that 1 million mark, right? We wanna hit that 1 million. So at $50, you're still at about $5 million up. Okay, so let's bring that down to $25. You're still at 2 million, 2.5 million. Let's bring it down to $10. All right, I'm gonna make it 12. We're just playing with it. Okay, how about $11? Perfect. So here's the deal, guys. If you invest $5,000 right now at 0.051, which is the price right now, February, where are we at? Feb 27, okay? 2021. You spend 5,000, you buy Dogecoin. If the price goes up to $11 or whenever that hits $11, you are going to be a millionaire at 5,000 only, okay? Again, you can play with this. I'm going to share this spreadsheet. I'm going to give you access. If you like access, let me know. Put it in the comments, or I'm going to put a link, and then you can click on the link in the description below. I've not placed the link yet, but as soon as the stream ends, I'm going to go ahead and place the link and share this. So you can kind of, based on your own investments and whatever you are, you can devise your own strategy as to what you would like to invest, or what you've already invested and where you are, and when the price hits 10, right? So if you've invested, for example, $10,000, just let's do another example, okay? And the price just needs to go to $5, you will be a millionaire. Well, let's say $6, right? $5.5. So at $6 price for Dogecoin, you will be a millionaire if you invested $10,000 today, right now, okay? So you get the idea. So Dogecoin will make you a millionaire, guys, okay? It will make you a millionaire. You just have to follow the right strategy. Again, do your own due diligence. I'm not a financial advisor. I do this for myself, and of course I share my knowledge. Like I said, I do have a financial background. I have a finance degree and PhD in management, but again, I do it for myself, okay? So I'm not a certified advisor, so don't take my word for it. I'm just doing my research, following along, picking up some of these currencies. We're going to talk about ADA too later on, or Cardano, and next week I'll add this to our portfolio, but heavily into Doge, primarily. Almost 90% of my time is spent on Dogecoin research, so I'm going to make this the #1 channel for you to get the most updated breaking news, anything that's happening to Dogecoin, and that's exactly what we are going to be. So this is the magic number where we are going to be at, where we would like to be, right? Become a millionaire. So the number we're looking for is $6 if you invest $10,000, okay? Of course, the higher the investment, the lower the Dogecoin price will be. So if I were to invest, let's say $25,000 over a period of time at an average price of, let's say, 0.051 or even less, right? You would only need the price of Dogecoin to be at $2 to become a millionaire. All right? That's exciting. That's incredible. That's awesome. Okay. So, all right, let's go back to our comments here. I want to see some comments, see what's going on. All right. So we're talking about Sanoski, right? Yeah, that's great. So, like I said, he's already $250,000 up. I'm sure because he bought it so low, which is excellent. And remember, even at 0.051 or 0.03, 0.04, this is still going to be low, right? As we move forward next week, maybe next week the price goes up to 0.08. Who knows? And if that's the case, guess what? We're going to be higher. Our portfolio is going to grow, right? This number is going to grow. That's exactly what we're looking at, right? So appreciate your support, guys. Hit the like button, comments, and of course the bell notification, because every time I do a stream, I come up with something new, I hear something new, something is happening, I just go at it. So hit the bell notification, and of course subscribe. This is super exciting. I definitely appreciate your support. You guys have been awesome, and moving forward we are going to keep track of this Excel spreadsheet. This is going to help us even next week. So we'll also evaluate next week how that performs at the end of next week, right? Over the weekend, next weekend. But right now we took a look at last week's performance of Dogecoin, where the average price was the high price was at 0.0569, and the low price for Dogecoin for the last week average was 0.0468. That kind of gives you an idea of where to buy and how much, and depending on your own strategy. So yeah, definitely Dogecoin to the moon. Dogecoin will make you a millionaire. That's what we're talking about. All right, so last few things I like to talk about is, remember I mentioned market cap, okay? So market cap, of course, is important for cryptocurrencies, okay? So cryptocurrency market cap, also known as capitalization, market capitalization, or cryptocurrency market cap, a couple of terms that are used, is basically a metric to know the real value of cryptocurrency, okay? And that's really what the purpose of market cap is, Now, if you go to coin market cap, and I just showed you that, right? You see the rank of Dogecoin to be at, I think, number 14, right? Where Bitcoin being number 1. So let me bring that up. All right, so let's bring that up so we can see the market cap. Where's that tab? Right here. Perfect. So Bitcoin is at number 1, right? And then Ethereum number 2, Cardano number 3, and then we scroll down a little bit, we go to number 14. Here's Dogecoin, number 14. So this number 14 that you see is Dogecoin, right? At 0.50, with the market cap of 6462198465. Okay. Now, market cap, just like I mentioned, is basically a useful metric to know the real value of cryptocurrency. And we see that Dogecoin is at number 14 on the coin market cap site. Okay. So how do we calculate cryptocurrency market cap? So I'm not going to get into a lot of formulas, but just to give you an idea, a basic understanding, the market cap of a coin is basically the total circulating supply, and you multiply that with the price of each coin. Okay, and that you probably see that on the screen here, right? The total circulating price of Dogecoin right here is 128 billion, probably 550 million, something like that, right? Just a higher number. So that's the circulating supply, and you multiply that with the price. That gives you the market cap. Okay, so that's the formula. And so that's kind of important to know when you're taking a look at these charts. And of course, getting educated is also knowledge is power, guys. So the more you know, the better you are in taking a look at all of these rest of the cryptocurrencies and where they are and what the prices are. So the idea is that cryptocurrency market cap is important, and it's, again, market cap, the simple formula is total circulating supply. You basically multiply that with the price of each coin. So in other words, it's basically the product or multiplication of the coin circulating supply and the price of each coin. So let's say, for example, a simple example to understand better, if a certain coin has 500,000 coins in circulation, let's say 300,000 coins in circulation, and each coin is worth $2, right? So 300,000 coins in circulation times multiply that by $2, the coin's market cap will be $600,000. Okay, straightforward. Just 300,000 multiplied by 2 is 600,000. Similarly, if coin B has a $500,000 coin and the price is $2, it's going to be $1 million cap. Okay, so that just the cap, right? Now, of course, there's large cap versus mid cap versus small cap, so there's a little bit in depth. But what's the point of ranking by market cap? What are we basically learning from this metric? Why is it so important? Okay, so it shows us how much risk we are dealing with when we choose to invest in a cryptocurrency. Market caps are associated with the relevant risk. Okay, so, and we know that cryptocurrencies can be classified into large cap, like I mentioned earlier, or mid cap, or even small cap. So there are primarily 3 categories. Okay, large cap, think of them as safe investments to make, because companies with more than 10 billion market cap are classified as large cap companies, right? So going by the estimate, Bitcoin, for example, is a large cap, Ethereum is a large cap, Ripple is a large cap. Then we have the mid cap cryptocurrencies. They have a smaller market cap but more risk than larger cap cryptos, right? So market caps between 1 billion and 10 billion are mid cap cryptocurrencies. And then finally, of course, we have small cap cryptocurrencies. They have the smallest market cap but the highest risk, because the chances of failure are much higher in a small cap crypto. So companies with a market cap of below 1 billion are small cap, right? And of course, the famous risk versus reward scenario is always there, right? You can take a look at that. So if you do decide to invest in large cap crypto, then your investment will most likely not experience any major growth. It's just going to be very slow. Okay, it will be considered a safe investment. Mid cap, they have a lot more growing potential than large caps, right? Which is also why they carry more risks. And of course, small cap, because of the low market cap, these cryptos are susceptible to, of course, jumps up and down like crazy. Okay, so simply think about this. You may see your investment in small cap go down to a negligible amount in an instant. Okay, and I'm not talking about GameStop, by the way. Those were short squeezes. That's a whole different ball game, by the way. That's margin. So we'll talk about that maybe later on. Next week maybe I'll do a stream on what margins are and what short squeezes are and what the GameStop thing was. So that's a different thing. Okay, but typically that's how market caps are. We take a look at those market caps. Kind of makes sense, right? All right, perfect. So yeah, hit the like button, guys. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you get the latest and updated news from InvestDesk. So right now we're looking at Dogecoin. You'll notice the circulating supply is very high, and then we have the market cap of about 6 billion, right? Something like that, if I'm not mistaken. All right, whereas Bitcoin is at 870-855-942-187, right? So that's really what that is. So it's the total market value of the cryptocurrency circulating supply, and it is pretty comparable to the free float capitalization of the stock market. Okay, so once again, the formula is right here for you again: current price into circulating supply. Okay, all right, so that kind of makes sense. So we talked about how Dogecoin is going to make you a millionaire. Then we look at the Excel spreadsheet, just like I promised, that over the weekend we're going to take a look at this, and we did. Let me bring that up one more time. There we go. Where's that tab? Right here. Perfect. So Dogecoin performance from February 22nd to Feb 26th. We took a look at that. The average high price, the average low price of Dogecoin for the past week. And then of course we did an example, because this example will help you, reach your target, whatever that is. So in this particular hypothetical, and we, evaluated several scenarios, guys. You can probably do it on your own if you want to. That's no big deal. But on a $25,000 investment, and at current price at 0.051, if you buy Dogecoin now, if it goes to $2, right? That's the $2 price of Dogecoin. You are going to, gain about 4,000%, and you will definitely become a millionaire, right? If you sell it at $2. But if you hold it till it goes to $10,000, just like Bitcoin, right? If it follows suit, goes up, of course, you'll be a billionaire then, right? So I'll make another video sometime later on for billionaires. All right, so let's see, comments coming up. What do we have? Perfect. All right, Hector, welcome back. Nice to see you. Ticker symbol SANP. This one is crypto mining related to Cardano. And then every time I walk in the house, Sanosuke, you're the man. How's your Doge? My Doge be strong. Yeah, that's really what the talk is, right? So if you're holding it and the price is going up, that's pretty cool. All right, so Astrotomic, when we hitting 10 billion? Oh, soon. Our goal is to hit soon, as fast as possible. All right, buy Dogecoin at 0.046. That's not a bad price. That's pretty good. Okay, I know I bought it at 0.042. I believe that was a few days ago when I hit the dip. I bought a whole bunch of it. So that's a good average price, because right now it's at 0.051. Okay, and it has been for the last week. So if you look at the Excel sheet here for the entire last week, this was at 0.055, 0.051. That's the range. So if you bought it at 0.0421 or something close, that's a great buy. All right. What else? Go buy ADA if you want to make some money. Well, yeah, we could do that. Okay, but yeah, it's just your own flavor, whatever it is you want to do. Okay, if you want to go buy a Cardano, if you want to buy Bitcoin, more power to you. Okay, we're just focusing right now on Dogecoin. That's what I've been doing for the last week. But you're a free man, right? You're free. So whatever it is that you want to do, please go ahead. Perfect. All right, so let's talk about once again how Dogecoin will make you a millionaire. We talked about the Dogecoin performance for the last week, the average high price being 0.0569 and the low price being 0.04686. And we also covered a lot of news, by the way, since the entire last week. Some exciting news came out last week, but the average price kind of stays the same, even though Elon Musk tweeted at least 3 or 4 times about Dogecoin. Okay, the price still stood the same, it's holding grounds. And more importantly, by the way, I talked about this earlier, that the last market correction, when the price of Bitcoin dropped from 58,000 to where it is now, 4748, guess what? Dogecoin kind of went up. Okay, so it's holding its own grounds, and that's exactly what we're looking at. So let me bring up the chart here just quickly so we can see. There we go. You can see it. Perfect. All right. So this is where kind of the average Dogecoin is, right, at 0.051, 0.055. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit. Perfect. So a little bit of rise, and then of course a little bit of dip, and that's exactly what's happening. Okay, but pretty much the stabilization area is at 0.05 to 0.055, and once again it did go all the way up to 0.06, 0.07, 0.08 last week. Okay, but for this particular last week that we're covering right now, the average price is what you just saw on the Excel spreadsheet, and I'll be happy to share this spreadsheet. Let me know. I'll put a link in the description. You can click on it if you want to have access. I'm going to keep building this sheet as we move forward until we become millionaires, right? That's my goal. That's the strategy. It is going to be, it's ranked number 14 in terms of the CoinMarketCap site. Dogecoin is at number 14, right? Number 1 being Bitcoin. So it's a coin. Dogecoin is not just like, oh, what are we talking about, right? It's something that has to be taken, in my humble opinion, seriously. It has been, not only just talked about, by the way. It started off as a meme, started off as a joke, but really, it's a currency, guys, right? Okay, it's not a joke. It's a currency you can buy and you can sell, and you can earn profit. So it's real. So, and this reality is backed by several things that are happening. The exchanges are going public. For example, Coinbase going public in March. So you can check that stream out. I did that yesterday, a couple of days ago. And then we have the mayor of Miami actively wanting Bitcoin to pay the city of Miami in the United States, their employees in Bitcoin, even though the commissioners voted to halt that particular decision of the mayor, only with a condition to first educate all of the employees and the community at large about cryptocurrency. And that's the real deal. Moving forward, this is the future. Okay, this cryptocurrency is going to be accepted, and with these public exchanges, or Coinbase, or I think it was Coinbase, right? Coinbase, yeah. So Coinbase going public, right, on NASDAQ, that means it's going to come under a regulatory framework, and if it does, that means the crypto exchange is being regulated by the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission. So what does that tell you about the cryptos being traded on Coinbase? Okay, so definitely the governments are seriously looking at across the globe about how to effectively, incorporate digital currencies as a mainstream payment mechanisms, right? So you go to a shop, you pay, you buy things with Dogecoin, and so on. So that's really what things are moving forward in this direction. The important thing is that that's what's happening. All right, and that's the key. Now, whether it happens tomorrow, whether it's happened 3 years from now, 2 years from now, we don't know. But we're all in this together, just like the Bitcoin thing. People were saying Bitcoin crashed. We're not interested. We're not going to buy. Right? We just leave it. It's not going to happen anymore. All these things we talked about when we talked about Bitcoin, right? Look at where Bitcoin is right now, right? It's very difficult to buy just a single share of Bitcoin, isn't it? So we buy fractions, right? So, and the same thing with Dogecoin. Right now, it's at fractions. What's going to happen in the next 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, right? What's the goal? So typically, when I take my money to the bank, right, or to an investment bank or wherever I go, for example, and I say, well, I want to invest, right? Okay. And they say, well, okay, well, you'll have a yearly return of 10%. Okay, and that's a good return. Or if I put my money in the bank, I'm going to have return on a savings account, well, 1%, 0.5, or just nothing, almost, right? But if you invested in Bitcoin a couple of years ago, you're a millionaire. Congratulations, right? Same thing. Excuse me, need some water. Same thing with Dogecoin. So if you were investing in Dogecoin for the long run, that's exactly what this Dogecoin is going to be. It's going to go to the moon in the long run, of course. Who knows, maybe earlier, but this is just speculation. I'm not a financial advisor. I do this for myself, and of course, heavily researching Dogecoin, staying on top of every single thing. So this channel that that we're on at InvestDesk, the goal is to give you the latest updated news and anything that are happening to Dogecoin, so that you can make informed decisions for your own investments and portfolios as you grow. So we're talking about Dogecoin, guys. We also look at the Excel spreadsheet. So if you just joined, if you're new, welcome to this channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and the bell notification so you get notified every single time I come up with a new video or a stream. So this is awesome. So we talked about the average price for the last week. We actually conducted our analysis as to how Dogecoin performed this past week. And next week, moving forward, we are going to keep track yet again in a similar fashion how the prices are. So if you're pumping and dumping, we also talked about that. So if you're doing, following that strategy for yourself, that's great too. You still be earning, 40%, 50% returns. Okay. But if you're holding it for the long run as a long position, that's another strategy, and that's fine too. So again, that's just up to you how you like to deal with this. So let me bring up the Excel spreadsheet one more time. So if you've joined just right now, welcome to InvestDesk. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. So this is our Excel spreadsheet, and that's what we've been talking about. Okay. Great. So we talked about the price, of course, right? Of the average price, and then of course an example that you see down below that I've highlighted in yellow is where you actually we talked about the different hypothetical scenarios, right? So if you invested 25,000 at the current price, if the price goes up to $2, right, you will become a millionaire. Pretty close, 50,000 shy, right? But that's pretty close. Okay, and it's just simple as that. If the price goes to $1, of course you have to invest 50,000, right? So if the price goes to $1 here, your investment has to go a little bit up, but you'll be half a millionaire. All right, guys. So if you invested 25,000, price goes to $1 Doge, whether it's it goes this year, or maybe 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, who knows. But if it does, of course, that's the story. Plain and simple, guys. You'll be half a millionaire, right? So, and that's straightforward. Okay. And of course, let me bring up my Twitter here. I forgot about that. So is Dogecoin next Bitcoin? By the way, I streamed that yesterday. So go check this out. This is super exciting. We talked about extensively about Dogecoin history, about Bitcoin history. So you want to check this stream out. This was yesterday when I talked about the comparative analysis of Dogecoin and Bitcoin, right? So, and that will definitely this is cool. So if you actually look at this stream and go through it, you'll have a solid understanding of where Dogecoin is right now positioned, how it's building its strong foundation, and how it's following suit of Bitcoin. Not only just following Bitcoin, we kind of talked extensively about in this yesterday's stream how it's going to even cross Bitcoin moving forward, okay, as the people's currency. So definitely I encourage you to take a look at that. But in terms of market cap ranking, of course, number 1 is Bitcoin, and then at number 14 we see Dogecoin. Okay, and with such a low price, 0.05. Okay, you're not going to find any other at this rank level at 0.05 price. Okay, just let me scroll up. Bitcoin 47,000, Ethereum 1,500, Cardano 1.41, Tether $1, right? And you keep scrolling down. The lowest you find probably is at 0.45 Stellar XLM. But Dogecoin 0.05, that's it's ranked 14 in terms of its market cap and circulation. So, and we talked about the market cap scenario as well, right? What that is and how that affects. So the idea is that long-term Dogecoin is positioned pretty well, okay? And that's what we're talking about. And that's exactly how Dogecoin is going to make you a millionaire. Just gotta, hold your horses, show a little patience, buy low, buy the dip. That's the strategy that I've been using, by the way. Again, you have your own strategies. You're welcome to comment. Let me know how you're holding out. When you buy, and of course your buying average cost must be low moving forward. Okay, so this is great. We had a wonderful session, just a little over just a little more than an hour. I didn't expect that, but this was exciting. See, when time flies when you have fun. So let's take a look at comments here. Anything new and exciting? All right, how many of those from BTC because of updates? Dogecoin is inflatable. Do your research. Yeah, inflation is there, of course. Yes, you must do your research. I totally agree. So each one of us must do our own research, guys. Even though we get together, we share a lot of ideas, we share a lot of information. But at the end of the day, of course, it's your money, it's your decisions. I'm not a financial advisor, so it's basically your own decision, right? But the idea is that if Dogecoin is building a solid foundation for itself, right, that's the key, and that's really what it is. Okay, it's going to follow where Bitcoin is going, and that's important. Okay, so we talked about the last week's Dogecoin's performance. We also talked about the market cap, what that is, how that affects this particular metric, market cap, and large cap, mid cap, and small cap, right, and the risks associated with each of them. So we talked about that. That kind of helps you determine where you want to be in terms of your investments, right? Awesome. So yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys. Welcome. If you're new, this is the #1 channel, by the way, that I've created. I'm super excited, by the way, for all of you guys, for myself, and I appreciate your support, and I thank you so much for your support. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, the like, if you like the content so far, and of course the news and forecast. That's the goal for this channel, right? to bring you cryptocurrency with daily updates, news, and forecasts. All right, so we talked about the market cap, the Dogecoin's position at number 14. Let's go back to our Excel spreadsheet one more time. So if you were just joining in, welcome. Let me go ahead and bring that up quick. There we go. Perfect. So last week's performance of Dogecoin was pretty much steady. The average high price was at 0.0569. That's the average price, right? So at one point in time on February 22nd, the start of the week, Monday, it went up to 0.06. Okay, that was the one day it hit 0.06, but the average is 0.0569. Similarly, the lowest dip was at 0.424. This was Feb 23, which I believe was a Tuesday, right? Yes. So this was Tuesday. This was at the lowest price, 0.0424. Probably a good time to buy, right? Yeah, why not? But the average is 0.0468. This was the lowest price Dogecoin hit last week. Okay, so we talked about that, and then we also took a look at the example here. Okay, and we extensively talked about different scenarios. I'm going to share this spreadsheet, by the way. I'm going to put a link if you need access to it, or you can create your own, doesn't matter, but you get the idea. So if I invest, for example, $10,000 today, right now, in Dogecoin at 0.051, which is the current price, for example, right? This is just a hypothetical example, and the price of Dogecoin goes to, let's say, $1, you will have $186,000. Whether it's 6 months from now, 1 year, whatever it is, you're gonna have this much, right? If you invest today. So similarly, you can work around with all these numbers all day long, guys. So it's really up to you. Similarly with Bitcoin, but what we did establish, by the way, in this example, is that if you were to invest in Bitcoin, you're not going to gain as high as return as Dogecoin. Okay, even if you were day trading, even if you were pumping and dumping, Dogecoin is going to give you at least a 50% boost as compared to Bitcoin every single time, even if you're day trading, the way it's been for the last week. Okay, based on this analysis. So yeah, so you're welcome to have access to this. You're welcome to get your own things, but that's the goal. The idea is that you want to be, or Dogecoin is going to make you a millionaire. How? This is how. So you're not going to spend $250,000 investment. You'll be a billionaire already, right? So I'm going to put 25,000 back up here. So if the price goes to $1, you'll be half a millionaire. Okay, it's just that simple. That's it. That's Dogecoin for you. Okay, but not as much as Bitcoin. So if you invest in Bitcoin, you're not going to grow as your portfolio as high as Dogecoin. So this is the example that we took a look at. I hope you guys liked it. So yeah, hit the like button, make sure you comment, and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate your support, guys. Super exciting. And of course, I put a lot of effort in there in coming up with all of this updates and news and forecasts and scenarios and analysis, and bring you that so that it's easier for you to make informed decisions for your own self. Okay, all right, let's see, go back to our comments here. Yep, we're going to the moon, that's for sure, right? All right, so Hector says, I shared your live stream on my Facebook. Well, thanks, Hector, appreciate it. Thanks, man, that helps quite a bit. So yeah, I definitely appreciate your support. So we're in this together. We're going to grow together. I'm going to maintain this portfolio. I'm going to keep a track of this Excel spreadsheet. Just a simple. Of course, I have a complicated one, but the purpose is not to get bogged down with numbers and with all that. You can create your own for yourself, and I'm sure you have if you have a portfolio or two. And we also talked about different strategy, like having multiple portfolios. One is for day trading, the other one is long term, whether you're long positions, short positions, or even if you're margin trading. I'm going to cover that next week, about margin trading, because that's another area where you can even make more profits if you're leveraging further, right? So we're going to talk about margin too. And what I mean by that is, let me quickly show you what margins are, just to give you a teaser, right? So let's bring up my Binance here window, and there we go, perfect. So if you look here, on the top right, on the top here, it says spot, cross 3, and isolated 5x, right? So cross 3 is basically and isolated at 5x are the margins, right? So if I click on cross 3, let me close this. On the right, you'll see the limit, market, and stop limit, right? So these are basically leveraging yourself, where you are borrowing money and then you're placing limits for your stop limits, right? Okay. So depending on how much you want to borrow, but I'm not going to cover it right now. I'm going to talk about this next week. Just another video on margin buying. It's a little bit advanced, but it's good to know. So as we grow together, definitely it's good learning as we grow. It's definitely going to help you in future as you become more and more actively involved in trading cryptocurrency or other stocks. So I'm going to talk about margins later on too. But Dogecoin to the moon, guys. This is holding steady. How Dogecoin will make you a millionaire. We talked about that. Different scenarios. The current price is at 0.050. We also look at the average price last week, how it performed. Kind of was steady, okay? So which is not a bad thing. You're just going to watch out for these dips so you can buy. And of course, you want to hold or you want to sell. That's entirely up to you. That's just up to you and your own analysis. All right, guys. So thank you once again. I appreciate the support. This has been wonderful. So I'll leave you at this because I'm going to go and get a cup of coffee, right? So you're welcome to stay, welcome to comment, welcome to chit chat a little bit. I'm going to leave this stream on for a little while longer, but I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. And if you guys are still here, I'm going to join back in, okay? So I'll be right back in about 5 or 10 minutes to check up to see where you guys are. So see you in a little bit.